Is it those? Is that what you like, Demo?
Is the game starting yet? Any chance?
I just had to do Derry's role for a little bit.
How much did he pay you?
You don't want to know. It's not money.
So, moving on to the game, 1nfamy versus Xenos, moving into Kitchen Trophy, the more expected bomb site out of, I say, potentially 3 we could see tonight. I don't think we're going to see any crazy upstairs holes like they 1UP did. Bit of an interesting operator, particularly for this bomb site, is going to be Echo. We don't see Echo played all too much, especially on a map such as Shallow, where he's not that useful because most of the times a lot of the aggression is going to be put out towards the entirety of Dining, Kitchen and Trophy, so he doesn't really have a safe place to sit, which you want. As an Echo is just a little corner you can sit and hide and use that drone as much as you want. So I am curious to see how this will work out for them.
We'll see it setting up again. Just setting up a lot of defense here, as you would imagine. And Cryptic doing his best to just try and cut off all these angles coming in. See where the attack starts off. If you were going to attack this particular area, you know, and you were 1nfamy, where would they be looking for an entry point, you know, especially with the operators that they picked up?
I would imagine that they want to go upstairs because they have the buck, they have the sledge, so a lot of destructibility. No Habana, instead they're going to opt for Thermite, so that's an interesting pick as well, because typically we see Habana being picked because she's so versatile, she can open up the hatch, as we do see Nave catch a glimpse of Echo as he is going to go for a couple of taps, but does miss ahead, but that does manage to take down free armor to about half health. Upstairs hold as well, going to come out from Xenos, going to be Jaeger upstairs, Smitch on the Ash, ready for the aggression. Let's see what he can do in this situation.
He's roaming around, just looking for potential pick-off. He gets the headshot, really good trigger pull there, and Whisker goes down. Cryptic actually pulls a redemption kill onto him. But Smitch gets another one. Smitch is a 2-for-1 right now. He is running rampant on this Ash. Look at him go.
Big place from Smitch. That clears out the entire top end of this library area, and also master bedroom is going to be clear, as I'm sure they will drone that out. This is where now Prem, playing that buck like we've talked about, the destructibility on Shallow previously in our first game off this evening, he can start to come in and get rid of a lot of these anchor positions, especially Echo, who may be playing inside Kitchen or Dining.
Smitch has been so good. He's looking for a peek. There is a member of Xenos there behind the wall, so he does have to be careful. If he gets peeked here, will spend his doom. He's going to move through. I don't know if he knows anyone's there. He's going to chuck a nade through or flashbang through, looking for an opportunity. And the drone's going to come out, so he should be able to peek around the corner. Oh, the drone came through, and that was a great move from Winegum. He saw the drone go down, and he found an opportunity to move around onto Smitch. That was really well timed from Winegum. And now we are down to a 3 versus 3. So it looked all go for 1nfamy, but Xenos, with a couple of clutch return kills, have managed to even up the scales here, Demo.
Big plays from Winegum there. I believe that Valkyrie cam was a big aid in him knowing exactly where he was. Not necessarily the drone, I think he would have somebody on the camera telling him exactly where he is. But we're going to see Prem on the butt, gets a frag kill onto Winegum, so Ada is going to be taken care of. And both members of Xenos are going to be located inside this trophy room. So if the dining push does happen, then they will be very exposed and they will more or less be trapped in this confined space.
Floki joined up here with Kinders is 2 versus 3 right now, so Xenos got to pull out something special on this defense. Looks like 1nfamy are setting up here, though, setting up for their final push in. They've got 20 seconds to make this happen. They've got to get that diffuser down, so really have to make their move at some point soon.
But at this stage, this is where Blackbeard's going to come in so strong, being able to hold these long angles with the echo drop is going to happen as we see Prem just rushing the trophy. Does he have the shotgun out, or is it going to be his assault rifle? As we do see Floki go for a mad dash and stop the plant. What a play from Floki. Amazing play, knowing that these guys are going to try and kill me. Let's just push in, kill the planter, and win the round so they cannot, they can't kill him from that. What a play.
Did 1nfamy leave that too long? Like, they had a big advantage going in. You said they had Blackbeard, they had the ability to play the long angles, get a bit of an entry move down, but they waited till the very last moment. They didn't get that kill. I think they had the shotgun. I think it was a shotgun coming through, but didn't pick up the kill there onto Floki. And Floki said, all right, I know where they're planting. They're definitely not planting next to me, so they're planting at the other bomb site. Ran straight through and picked off that final kill. And no one there to finish up with that diffuser. Great stuff from Floki and Xenos. Unexpectedly, I suppose, given the way that round was going, pick up the first round of the series.
It was a bit of a bit of a relapse like we've seen with Pranksy, where he managed to not get the kill as he went for the defuse kind of, where it was really iffy, came down to the final wire in terms of the way that happened. But I would say that Xenos, or not eNfamy, they weren't expecting that aggression typically on Chalet. The plant does go down near the 10-15 second mark, so it does leave a lot of time for defenders to get in position and possibly try and stop the plant, which did happen. But maybe Prem should have backed up from the aggression and just held an angle on the door, protect that planter, and then let Neif, who was already at that single window, do the job of keeping them roamers, or keeping them defenders inside that trophy area.
eNfamy setting up in bar and gaming room here. That's where they're going to be looking to defend straight up. Got Mira as well, so they've opened up a window into the gaming room from bar, so they're going to try and hold some angles there. Whisker on Ash, so Whisker will be doing the sort of the anti-roam, trying to pick up some of the roamers from eNfamy. There's some shots coming through. He's got a good idea. He has been tagged. They know where Whisker is. He's going to have to find another angle here.
Yeah, it seems to be that they want control of this library area, which is a valid push. Sometimes we see teams pushing from Master Bedroom. They're going to opt for the library side and just force their way in. And of course, once you do take this top floor library, then it's very easy for you to start hammering away at the floors. It is destructible, and also the drop hatches are available. Kinders gets the first kill on Neif Bandit, playing very risky and does get shut down by Kinders. The main slayer for Xenos, as they have now control off this top floor, but still Castle roaming about, and also believe one more roamer. It's going to be Ila inside office, so only Mira is going to be on site at this stage.
Just so you guys know, if you have been experiencing a loss of game sound from your side, we don't have any game sound in our spectator lobby, so we will be remaking the lobby after this round, holding all scores that we currently have. So after this round has been completed, we'll be remaking the lobby. And so there we go, Whisker now 3 versus 4. This is good for Xenos. Again, coming out strong. They have to get through that static defense pile. They've got to get through Mira. They've got to get through Castle as well. Castle taking a bit of damage. They kind of know where he is at this point in time. And Xenos have got so much time to work with, though. They've got loads of times to open up the angles. They still have Buck alive and available to open things up with Skeleton Keys, so they're in a really good position, I feel. Rather
than going for the long way around, pushing that Master Bedroom and office side, they've decided, let's go for the quick rush onto this library and just break through their defense. I'd imagine that they have a feeling that their gun skill is just outright better than eNfamy's at this stage, and they are starting to prove it with them early frags, and a minute to go. Tons of time to attack a bar and gaming room, especially whenever they are inside library. And there we do see Kenders. It's a free piece to his name. Does get the kill on the no thumbs. Drake is going to start to push up the stairs. Gets a kill on the Kenders. Can Drake be the saving grace for his team? Or will Whiskers, who is lurking on them back stairs, be able to finish off the rest of Team eNfamy?
They have planted the diffuser. So diffuser is down now, and it's going to be up to Drake. Try and do something. They do pick up a kill here. Premixer picks up to Whisker Willie, so it's going to be 2 versus 2. Castle now moving through. Premixer taking a little bit of damage from that trade, but he is looking for an opportunity to push in and try and find a flank, try and find a sort of roam position onto the back end of Xenos' defensive. And they're now playing the defensive, like we said, because they have that diffuser down. They haven't got much time to work with here, Demo, though.
Yeah, this is where the diffuser has been placed, and all they need to do is just wait for Drake and the Castle just to push out, which is exactly what's happened. No time left for Drake to clutch it up, and it is going to be Xenos taking the round win.
That is going to be a reset of the lobby, by the way, guys. Unfortunately, we do have to get those game sounds working, and we don't want you guys to be out without those game sounds, because obviously they can be quite important. And it is actually going to be Xenos taking another round, 2-0 versus eNfamy. So, community, not right in the right basket at the moment. 70% we're in favor of eNfamy, but this is Rainbow Six. Things can turn around very quickly. Just need to get into the right zone, start making those clutch shots. You mentioned Xenos look to be clutching things out a little bit better. You know, they are making those mechanical shots work for them. They're taking the 1v1s, they're getting the peaks. The early roamer eliminations have been very strong for them, especially on that offensive play. They took out a couple of roamers very early on, and they actually got the diffuser down, which forced an out-of-position static defense unit to have to then reposition and try and find their way back onto that diffusing site, which, to be honest, Xenos set up really well for.
I think that the early aggression that they just went for the library take, which normally we don't see because that ladder is going to be so easily defendable if there's a Valkyrie cam stationed outside the library, or even a Pulse as well. He can set there and pulse a ladder and then see whenever someone jumps up, and then just a quick jump out with a shotgun, C4, whatever it may be, should finish off the job. So that's why a lot of teams prefer the Master Bedroom and Office. But that did catch them by surprise. The defenders, I don't think, were ready for the library push. They had the mirror windows geared up for the master push, which is, again, we typically see that. And then from there, they had so much time to work with to start opening up the floor, get rid of the mirrors, and then just finally push in, go for the plant, and it was game, set, match from there.
Absolutely. That was very, very good. Like you said earlier, aggression coming out from Xenos, and managed to pick themselves up another round in this game. Working towards, you know, that big five. And if they can take this first game away from Infamy, Infamy are going to be sat at the bottom of the table, not feeling too good about themselves. They're currently the last place team with only 3 points in Group B. And I think if Xenos can pick up something here, that will shake up Group B standings pretty significantly, because both Radix and Radix and Enix going sort of toe-to-toe, both getting 3 points apiece. If you can get a 2-0 sweep here, suddenly the top of the table is looking way far away from Infamy, and that's going to shake up what Group B can achieve. Anybody feel, apart from maybe Infamy, in that position could go to LAN at that point, which is great for all the teams competing.
That's the game we bring back to the main strive for teams. They want to get to LAN, they want to get to there, not necessarily get the Premiership, because LAN is completely different online. You're not playing in your home comfort. Again, you're there at the live stage. The lights hitting you, the crowd screaming, does put a lot of pressure on you. Thousands of people watching you. Anything could happen at LAN. So it would be the teams with the LAN experience, you would imagine, to do a lot better. Rather than some of the online teams who are new coming into it with their first LAN experience. Some people relish in that kind of environment, though. Some people love the sort of the pressure that comes from that environment. So we'll have to see when these teams get towards that stage who will perform at their peak. But right now, Xenos 2-0 up against Infamy, and Infamy definitely on the back foot. Xenos with 4 ex-Pro League players, like you said, that experience seems to be coming through. They've done really well on that defense and attack. They've made some of those clutch shots work for them. What do Infamy need to do at this point? You know, where can they take a safe defense? They need to take a safe defense on the next round. They've got to defend 2 rounds time. So in terms of attacking, you know, is there anything that has worked for Infamy in the past? Any operators that have really come out well for them that they maybe need to consider picking up here on Chalet? Well, their attack nearly worked. It was just a bit of a misplay from Prem, going too aggressive, because once that plant went down, they could have easily have won that. Nath was outside the window. Everything was set up for the perfect plant and then the perfect opportunity for them to win that first round. Didn't happen, a bit of a misplay. So their attack wasn't bad. It was just a bit of miscommunication possibly from Prem and also the planter. So things like that does happen, where the tiniest little slip up, we talked about it, where there's one silly mistake just ruins the whole attack for your team and it makes you lose a round. So we are going to have to go to a very short break whilst we reset this lobby to get those game sounds working. We'll be back in roughly 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Stairs.
Nothing great ever happened without a witness.
Oh, you guys saw that?
With the power to capture comes the need to share.
Check this.
Followed by the eyeballs and loud mouths chomping at the bit.
That was nuts.
The fate of the game rests in your hands.
Check this out. No.
Oh my. Oh.
Leave nothing to chance. Game, record, and stream without compromise. Only on Intel Core i7.
Welcome back to the ESL Rainbow Six Premiership, powered by Intel and gaming by Curry's PC World. My name's Scoundrel and I'm joined by Demo. We are ready and reset with the lobby between enfamy and Xenos. Xenos with a 2-0 lead so far on Chalet, and hopefully we'll get back into it and ready to go as soon as we can. This is proving to be a pretty exciting day today. We've had what a lot of people would call upsets, and you were talking a little bit about how these teams know each other quite well. We're jumping into game, but just explain to the viewers like how these teams kind of know each other quite well.
Well, they're all ex-Pro League. Primarily, these sets the teams where the only two British teams inside Pro League, the Team Infused and then U4X respectively. And also, during the EGX Invitational, which we talk about quite a lot, because that was the main staging ground for the Premiership, that's where it was announced, of course. It was actually Drake on a team with Wangum, TW, Floki and Whiskers, who he is playing against right now, so a lot of old teammates playing against each other, which is always fun to see.
So we had a reset, although the rounds on the spectator client say 0-0, you can see on the top Xenos are up at +2, so that is how it's going to stand for now. So Xenos just need to get to 3 on the counter without enfamy reaching 4, I believe. So there we go, that's hopefully how it's going to work.
Yeah, that's the way it should work anyway. A lot of rehost happens with me and stuff. It's quite annoying, but it happens, Siege happens, so we have to get on with it. But nonetheless, we will be moving downstairs.
Here we go.
Into, I believe this is going to be Xenos' second defensive attempt. This is going to be primarily where enfamy want to take control of Kitchen Trophy and then start pushing down towards that big wine cellar. They do have the Thermite, so they can have that hard breach potential, and also Buck, where he is a very useful operator for Chalet with the amount of destructibility with the vertical flooring, may it be in the bar area, and also that entire great room is destructible, which does get rid of mirror windows inside the wine cellar, looking out towards this snowmobile. But we'll see what enfamy want to do. Yeah,
it can take a lot of what we talked about is that roamer that sometimes sticks around Trophy and Kitchen. You want to make sure that you have a good read on them. That got caught out in the first series of the day. We saw 1UP catching out Horizon time and time again around Trophy and Kitchen area. So we'll have to see whether enfamy can make use of that and whether they can catch out Xenos, who might be roaming up towards that area. But try and get hold of Kitchen, drop down into basement hallway, and then move into wine cellar. Try and get that big open area in your favor. It's kind of what I think the strategy generally will be here for enfamy.
So we do see 2 roamers inside Kitchen Trophy. Not a lot of reinforced walls or castle barricades, anything crazy like we've seen previously. A couple of barbed wire, I would imagine some Grismont mines as well coming out from Ayla. Ayla did get a nerf inside the mid-season reinforcements. Her magazine went from 50 bullets down to 40. And also her Ayla mines have a reduced effect, coming down from 7 seconds down to 4. So she was hit quite hard, but I would imagine she's going to get hit even further in the future updates.
Yeah, poor Ayla. She's just getting nerfed after nerf after nerf. She did get scouted out by a drone, though, so she's had to remove position. Looks like she's now sat in Kitchen.
Nothing yet from enfamy. I think they're just waiting to making sure there's no other roamers before they do want to push this in case they get caught out by surprise, being sandwiched, what have you, you know. Like Smitch could easily run in, try and go for the kills inside Kitchen, but if there's going to be somebody, a roamer on them stairs, then he's going to get shot from behind. So it seems to be the enfamy are taking it slow, and already 2 minutes, no first blood, no hard breach done yet. We only are now going to see Prem start to go for this floor being opened up with that skeleton key, and he can get rid of these mirrors like we were talking about.
Yeah, he's going to open up, and he's actually going to be right above. I don't think he actually got a peek there, but he was literally just right above a member of Xenos defending down there in wine cellar.
Drake does get the first blood on the wine gum. It's going to be Mira out of the picture, as we are also going to see the smoke grenade be expended. So that is going to be 1 smoke grenade down, 30 seconds to go, and then a great shot from Drake, almost a great shot from Drake, but Prem does finish off Kinders as he was getting a little bit aggressive inside that Kitchen Trophy, as no thumbs and gets the kill on the Floki. A great attack from enfamy has put themselves in a 5v2.
Oh, this has been clean from them. They don't even need to do much. Hampton Drake, I think he got a 4-4 at the end of that. That's pretty good for Hampton Drake. You talked about him being sort of a standout player here for enfamy. He really showed up in that round. 4 kills in his favor. Believe we're actually again just resetting things out. I think just making sure that everything's good, and we want to make sure that those sounds come through. I believe that was still the issue in the spec client there. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get it sorted. We want to make sure that this is really good spectating experience for everybody. But just break down exactly what went wrong there for Xenos, because that was a complete whitewash. Hampton Drake getting a 4-4. He looked pretty strong.
I don't think the roamers did their job as they should have. I think possibly that maybe Kenders could have played more aggressive from that dining double door, because Infamy had no intention of pushing them roamers. They just wanted to let them push them. Drake did some great coverage from the stairs, being able to cover Prem. He starts doing his thing on the floor, which seems to be the Infamy value their buck a lot more than what we've seen previously today.
I like that. I like
I like that. Especially on a map like Chalet, where buck comes into a big factor for either Kitchen Trophy and also Wine Cellar, because them anchor positions is going to be the main downfall for many Kitchen Trophies, because Kitchen Trophy is very hard to attack. Not a lot of options that you can go for the pushes, so being able to kill them before you're even in the site does help you in them final couple of seconds.
So we're back into another Wine Cellar, and Snowmobile garage defense here down the bottom floor. Now it's up to Xenos to make the attack. They're going to run with Sledge here as well. Buck, Sledge looking for just breaking open some of these sort of areas to open up those angles like we've seen pretty much all day, and wonder what they'll do with their buck. We've seen a varied use of buck across teams, across, you know, multiple rounds. We've seen the likes of MX use their buck as sort of offensive and maybe not getting the most utility out of the buck, but trying to use him as a fragger, as sort of looking for a slayer. We've seen teams like Infamy really value the buck, use it for more utility base, and then look to go aggressive later on in the game. So see what Xenos does with theirs.
I would imagine that they are going to try and hunt Vigil. This time, the Vigil is going to be brought. Naif has played it proficiently throughout Week 1 and Week 2, which is one thing that me and Des are really impressed about, how much he played this operator. He was the real trendsetter, I believe, inside Premiership for picking Vigil, as we do see the first blood going in the way of Infamy, as we do see the Ash getting taken out on Xenos' side.
Yeah, Hampton Drake again, picking up another kill. Can you stop this guy from fragging? It doesn't really feel like it right now as he gets rid of Ash. Another very mobile play. He gets another one. Great pick onto Cryptic. He goes down, and Hampton Drake wants some more. Oh, he's going to go for it. Oh, he gets another one. 3-4 for Hampton Drake. Can it be 4-4 2 rounds in a row? This man on Ela, unbelievable right now. How is he doing this? It just looks so easy.
He makes it look easy. I can tell you one thing, doing stuff that this guy does, it's not easy whatsoever. I wish he could be as good as him, but nonetheless, a great start for Infamy. Floki finally finished off his old teammate, as Floki was part of Infamy just before the Premiership did start. He was a stable member for 6-7 months, and then we also do see Spitch getting a kill on the Kenders. Last man up is going to be Floki against the rest of Infamy, and at this stage all he can do is go for the push. Does get one kill on the Smitch, but then Thumbs finishes off it, and that is going to be Infamy taking a round.
Infamy get another one back on board, so now we should be sitting at 2-2 between Infamy and Xenos, which means they are starting to catch up, things swinging back in Infamy's favour. Xenos need to shape things up, because Infamy look like, especially Drake, who has popped off these last 2 rounds since the reset. He's kind of really come into his own. To see whether Xenos can respond to a guy on fire like Drake is right now.
Will be interesting to see what they can do to try and counter that aggressive roam play. Maybe more drones may be the answer, as he is going to be primarily roaming about that blue stairs area as we've seen him do it previously. So that's what I imagine that they want to focus on, is that blue staircase, possibly playing somebody from below and then coming up from behind him. Or just by aggressing the library as much as they can, like they did the first round, and catch him by surprise and just put enough manpower that he can't deal with everybody at once.
Sledge, got Buck, got Thermite, Ash. There's lots of lots of angle opening here from Infamy, looking like again they just want to find the best opportunity to make it as hard as possible for Xenos to defend here.
More nades as well coming out from Infamy, so that will allow them to frag primarily that trophy area. Yep. Because trophies, it's very easy to predict where somebody's going to sit primarily beside the 2 reinforced walls, because if you have your Blackbeard stationed at that single window, there's only one area they can sit, so one good frag can either be chucked out beside the outside single window, just down below that big garage, or just simply from the hatch and fragging it from there.
Yeah, it's going to be up to Infamy to sort of get a pick again, try and make sure they deal with Xenos' roaming players. Ela specifically, maybe good to take her out pretty early on here. Again, Sledge maybe looking for his opportunity to move in.
Seems to be wants to enter through this little cloakroom area and up the blue stairs, or will he instead go up the ladder and try and aggress on this library, where we do see Cryptic, TW and also Whiskers stationed ready for the gun battle, as it is going to be him and Smitch going for this 2v2.
To see how this pans out, they are just keeping an eye on those internal cameras right now. Sledge, Hampton, reluctant to move up the stairs because he is getting peeked right above the top of the stairs. He has to be so careful. He sees it. He knows. He knew what he was waiting for. He was very, very reluctant to make that initial climb, and is now going to look to reposition as they kind of just try to see him come through. Wasted about a minute so far, Xenos, though, so they've been doing pretty good as of this. You know, they've got to sort of waste a bit more time. Infamy are going to have to reposition and find another entry as Whisker takes out one. That's Smitch down. Smitch has been a pretty decent player for Infamy so far, and Whisker picking up that first kill will give a bit of breathing room because that's now Ash down, I believe. So, obviously lost the mobile way, and obviously one of the ways of taking out some of those reinforced walls.
I like the play from Nath being played over on that office balcony area. Shuts down a lot of crossfires that could come out from Xenos. He could also open up his own holes and then shoot at them from inside the library, as we see TW get the better off Drake and does put his room game even better. As Whiskers is also still going to be alive, so both of these rumors causing mayhem for Infamy upstairs. Nath still yet to do anything outside the office balcony, but he should be able to control them from coming in and out, as he has angles on that main door and then also this corridor entrance.
Yeah, this is really tough now for Infamy. They're going to have to make something pretty special happen with only 50 seconds left to go. Every angle seems to be covered. They're going to have to start to use Buck to open things up, you think. Thermite as well coming through. Blackbeard maybe looking to get a couple of entry frags. That'll be the best situation, I think, for Infamy. Actually going to see a bit of a roam out here for Xenos. I think they sent someone outside to try and make a rotation, try and catch Infamy off guard, but Infamy really have only got 30 seconds left to work with here, Demo.
Still, Echo Drone's going to be up for, I believe it's Kender's playing that, so he can sit there and stall out as much time as he wants. May it be send it upstairs, or even just set it on site and wait for them to drop down the hatch and hit them as they fall down, which seems to be the play, as all they can do is go either for the single window, as we see Thumbs going for the rotate, or simply drop down the hatch. Whiskers does get a kill on the Prem, and Nath gets the trade out, but at this stage, 4 seconds to go, is going to be Xenos winning the round.
Yeah, there's nothing they could do here. They're really hard pressed for time, and so many angles covered by Xenos, and now Xenos go 3-2. We could be working towards overtime here, lads. If Xenos pick up a round and Infamy somehow manage to pick up 2 in their favor as well, we will be at 4-4. We are going to take a quick pause right now, guys, just to try and get those audio issues sorted out. We're not going to make another remake of lobby. We're just going to try and do the best that we can from this situation and move things forwards. But let's see who has been performing well. Hampton Drake didn't have the best round this time round, but has had a pretty good round all round in general, as he had that sort of 3-4. I think he had a double 3-4, a 4-4 and 3-4. He was, or double 3-4 actually, because he actually picked up a 4-4 in the first round. Just looked like he did. But honestly, Xenos look like they have sort of managed to recuperate from what was a blitz set of rounds from Infamy.
Yeah, I think that Xenos have the knowledge now that they know where Infamy want to push in from. Let's see if they know where Drake's going to be playing. Last time we seen Xenos just completely tear apart this defense from Infamy. They were able just to push in upstairs through library, very aggressive, which we don't see a lot. Typically it's the master bedroom office, a very slow methodical push, and then try and push in through that B-bomb primarily. But this time they went completely the opposite, and they were able to do it in quite quick fashion, which, one thing about these rounds, they're very quick, fast-paced. We haven't seen the same amount of slow methodical playstyle as we have the previous two, which I'm sure, I say this is fast, I'm just thinking back to the, like, if it was the Vexed and Fable game was being played, I'm sure the game probably wouldn't have finished by now if how quick them rounds would have went.
Yeah, Vexed, you said young players, they're sort of very mechanical, don't really use tactic as much as more as just raw skill. Whisker on Ash now. Just trying to find a way in. See if they can pick off someone from Infamy early on here. Again, they ideally want to win one of those battles one-on-one, try and steal away some of that Infamy roam potential, because you can see Nath here on Vigil, also stacked up with Valkyrie.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Where's he getting shot from?
Yeah, where is he getting shot from? And he makes a very quick exit.
Was that possibly from... Was that just Cryptic shooting him from below?
Maybe.
I don't know where he got shot from, but he did, and it has been enough to make him run away back into, I believe that's going to be down the main stairs, and then I believe he is still going to be roaming. Prem still with the Valkyrie, still alive. Doesn't have his C4 though, as he did try and toss it out onto that library ladder. Didn't get any kills from it, so this does allow Sledge to start pushing up, and it seems to be the same take from Xenos trying to push their way in through this library.
But they managed to force Vigil back now, which is great for their entrance capabilities. Now you can see Nath doing his best to try and pick people off on the outside through those draws. Oh, Hampton Drake, he picks up one. Winegum goes down originally, so that's great. Jaeger picking up one here, taking off one of the attackers very early on. Drake needs to continue his form to try and give enfamy the best shot at coming back here. Xenos 3-2 right now. He opens up, looks for anybody handing outside right now.
He doesn't see anybody as of yet, but that was a good flank from Drake, knowing that somebody was in the office balcony where he did get the call out, but Xenos have made their way inside, but they're still not safe yet, as there is a couple of rumours lurking outside in the corridor. I say that Smitch has rotated down, and this is where Xenos do have control, and they can start working on this destructible floor and get rid of these roamers, as Whiskers gets a kill on the Fums, who was the mirror inside the site, and Floki gets a kill onto that Vigil. So 4v3 going into the final minute of the round.
Yeah, it's a really great entry, and again, now they've got position towards the bomb sites to make their final approach. Hampton Drake holding an angle fast, waiting for someone to walk towards him. Smitch taking a bit of damage as well. He sees someone through. He doesn't quite get it. He does get it, and they drop the diffuser as well, so they know where the diffuser is. This is a big, big play for enfamy, but Smitch can't hold the position by himself. He knows that the rest of Xenos will come and try and recover that diffuser, but at least he knows now where that diffuser was, and they can reset and maybe look for the next angle that they're going to take.
They have managed to clear out that mirror, so a C4 is going to be down, so they can't go for that toss, as Whiskers gets a kill on the Prem. I believe that's going to be through the floorboards, and he can go for this plant. Smitch is going to try and rotate and go for this take back off the library. Drake also he hasn't done anything since he got that first kill. He's just been just lying over it in the other side of the building, not having real big influence on this plant going down. As we do see Smitch trying his best to go for the retake, but is going to get shot down straight away by TW. Last man up is going to be Drake, as TW gets a great shot on to Drake, and that's going to be Xenos taking the lead.
Cryptic right there. Double kill at the end. Through two different windows, secures that entry. Got to admit, I'm not quite sure what Drake was doing right at the end there. Didn't really feel like he was trying to close any angles off, was just holding that same angle the whole time. He was hoping that Xenos were going to walk into him like lemmings, but unfortunately Xenos had other plans. And I think they had a really good opportunity with Smitch picking off, getting that diffuser drop. They could have maybe coordinated around that, but they kind of let that slip away from them. And now Xenos find themselves just one game away from match point, and they've got two safety net points to work with as well. And Xenos now are on defense as well, so see how they work with that.
So they will be going downstairs to the wine cellar and snowmobile. Mira and Smoke being picked up, as well as Vigil and also Jaeger. No Ayla, which is quite a surprise. She is one of them we'd call the overpowered operators, the most picked ones, that she does have a great kit with them. Ayla mines, of course, and also the great gun as that Scorpion. But also having Vigil once again. Vigil's definitely a big talking point inside Premiership of how much play we've seen from him. I believe we've seen play from every single match tonight, which was a curious one. I wasn't expecting much Vigil play.
Have we got a bit of a curveball coming up from enfamy here?
What, Kapitai?
Yeah.
Well, Kapitai, he did get buffed in the mid-season reinforcements. His gun went from 41 damage to 48.
Oh, that's a pretty big.
That's pretty big. I've tried it out. It's really fun to play about with in ranked, because it just hits really hard, and headshots are so satisfying on it as well. And also the capo arrows are going to be a big counter to mirror windows as well. And also like a map like Shally, where it only has one-way doors, where it's very close and compact, as there's not a lot of ways in if you're going to go for drop hatches. But particularly for Kitchen Trophy, he can work quite well, as he could just capo off the entirety of that of the trophy run-in door, and then that cuts off anybody like we seen with Floki do earlier. Imagine if there was a Kapitai put there, he couldn't have went and go for the planter. So it'll be interesting to see how this capo does play out.
It's interesting. It's the first one that we've seen all night, and it's Hampton Drake piloting it now. Kinder's now looking for a roam potential here on that Vigil, something that's been fairly influential for teams. I wouldn't say it's had the most success in the world, but it's definitely had some rounds where it has really pulled things out. Xenos now reverting back down towards kitchen trophy room area. Capital on the top. Drake looking for some sort of entry on himself. They're trying to catch the roamers of Xenos, but looks like actually, they've actually already taken out Jaeger. Jaeger's down, so it's going to be a 4 versus 5 situation now. Infamy looking to bring this back. But
Kenders is still alive, and he has been a really good player on Shally specifically. I've seen him do bits against Enix last week. He was playing extremely well. I think he was playing Ayla primarily, and also I believe he was playing a bit of Vigil as well. So he's still on the roam, minute 30, and it's wasting more time for Infamy. They know he's somewhere, but they don't know exactly, and that's the power of Vigil. Drake has a suspect somebody may rotate up the main stairs, but then Kenders, like we were talking, gets a double kill onto Nath and Prem. That is going to be big for him and his team. So I would imagine if he gets one more kill, that should be a game set match for Xenos.
Oh, he's so close to it. It's so close. Not quite on the proper angle, but is definitely in that area. He's going to look. He's going to see him. He does get a couple of shots, but will get traded back for Smitch. That's a big, big move here for Infamy. But Kinders has already done a lot of work to the Infamy roster, who was looking very set a match, really, to try and get this point back on the board. And now they have to work through. It's still going to get through Smoke, who's just down, actually. That's great for Hampton Drake. Capital picks up 1. Capital looking to pick up 2. Doesn't quite manage it. But Hampton Drake already reducing this now to a 2 versus 3. They are low HP though, so a couple of stray shots could take out these members.
Buck and Habana's going to be dead, so they can't open up the floor and they can't open up the hatches. The thing that they have done is open up the snowmobile. But Thumbs, one quick spray from Mira or Bandit could put him out, as he's in very low health. As Mira seems to be watching this blue tunnel more than anything, as we do see Thumbs start crawling in. Is he going to go for the plant? C4 is going to be cooked. Thumbs going to be there, as I don't think he was expecting him to lie down right in front of the door, as all hopes lie on, I believe it's TW for Xenos.
Yeah, Bandit. TW looking for some sort of peek. They know he's there. He's kind of cornered in. He doesn't get it, and then Smitch picks it up. Infamy bring themselves back. Demo rubs his head together because Kinder's set that up so well for Xenos to take this and secure the map. And now Infamy bring it to 3 to 4. Infamy potentially going to force this to overtime now.
Big plays from Smitch there, being able to take out Vigil, who was, I was talking about, a big factor, especially Kenders, as it seems to be Drake running away with the scoreboard, as he has been, again, like we were talking about, very big for his team, which we weren't expecting, as he has been one of them great players. I would add that nobody's been playing bad as of yet. I think everybody's done something in the round. Winegum, we've seen him do like a really big play early on in the game with aggressive Ayla inside Kitchen Trophy. We will be moving down into another wine cellar and Snowmobile defense, as we do see Infamy bringing in Echo, which is quite curious that they're bringing Echo no smoke.
Yeah, they are not going to be looking for that zone control that Smoke brings, but like you said, got Echo this time round, so see how they make use of him. Xenos now just need to win the attack sledge. Hibana, they've got Thermite. They're actually going to bring an IQ to the table, so that's going to be a good counter to Vigil here, which you can see Infamy have brought to the table, which is decent, actually. Xenos, I think Vigil has been so good on this map so far. Xenos don't want to fall into that trap. They're going to bring Q to the table to try and just give that option to try and scout him out, make sure they don't get caught out. Maybe catch him early. You can catch a Vigil early. You give yourself such an advantage moving in to move onto the site.
Yeah, if you do manage to get a roamer killed early on, it gives you so much space as an attacker, because you don't have to worry about doing more. You don't have to worry about the drone phase, which wastes, of course, quite a lot of time trying to find these roamers. And once you know one roamer's dead, it's more than likely that there's going to be at least one more, but usually no more than that, because for a bomb site such as Wine Cellar and a Snowmobile, you typically do need at least 3 members on site, because it is such a big bomb site to hold as well. And if there is going to be a quick push, may it be down the blue tunnel and Snowmobile gets thermite off, or a quick trench push as well, which we've seen a couple of times throughout my career anyway, it could really affect them if they don't have anybody on site, especially such as a Smoke or a Mir on site.
You can just see Whisker here trying to hope things over. That's actually going to be Kinders. IQ picks up 1. That is going to be Vigil. That is exactly what that IQ's supposed to do. And he gets the kill. That's a really, really big move now for Xenos, because that Roman is down, and that means they're not going to have as much questions asking of themselves when they move into a site. Obviously, IQ poses, Vigil poses so many questions because he just can't be seen as easily, and that's a really big move for Xenos. They have only got 1 minute 40 to work with, but it's enough time to set things up.
This is where teams have realised that Vigil is quite a problem for these teams. They aren't having the best time trying to hunt him without having the IQ, so it was a really good counter pick. And they can also see if Bandit's trying to go for some bandit tricks as well. And also, I believe the Echo Drone that Kenders does manage to see, so he can't go for the hunt. Knows it's on the roof, so all it takes is him just to scoot down and go for the shots. But I think Prem has a suspicion that it's going to be an IQ, as he is moving up and down, up and down. Let's see if he can get the Echo Drone, because if he does, it's going to be really big, as he does. So
there we go.
Big plays from Kenders on the IQ.
It's been such a clutch pick for Xenos. It's been an incredible pick, and it's worked out. Already nullified quite a lot of the tools that Infamy brought to the table. Vigil also, because he's Vigil, often takes very aggressive positions, thinking that he can because you can't get scouted out as easily. That's what IQ brings when he comes in. That's going to be another kill here for Xenos. The plant is going down now. This is a great position. They're going to force Infamy to have to react. Winegun picks up another. This could just be the moment where Xenos take the map.
No roamers as well, so don't have to worry about covering their flanks as Wangum gets the kill on the Drake. Last man up is going to be Fums. And from here, it should be Xenos winning the round. They have the manpower.
They know exactly where he is.
Exactly.
As well.
They know where he's going to be behind the mirror, and even Whiskers is going to be upstairs trying to... Whoa! A body just went flying off the screen as Fum does get another one to his name. But at this stage, time is just ticking away. Tick-tock goes the clock, and nothing will come of it.
Xenos really don't need to take any risks here. They don't need to peek. They don't need to continuously. As another one goes down, they are just giving away here, but attackers win it, and that is going to be Xenos taking the map. Really, really good clutch IQ pick, you have to say, coming out from these guys. And Kinder's the guy that you said right at the start of this series. You said Kinder's the new guy on the roster, not the Pro League player. The only member of Xenos that isn't an ex-Pro League player is the one that we want to watch out for. The younger talent, I suppose, newer talent comes through and really played well in numerous sets of games there. So very, very well played from Kinders. And that actually means that Xenos picks up the map. Not going to be great for Infamy sitting at the bottom of Group B now. Really need to pick up this next map to give themselves even a hope of getting into the LAN.
I believe the group standings are Enix are still top.
Yeah.
And then Radix 3 points behind after getting a big 3 points. I think they need it from that. So I would say that it's either going to be Xenos getting through the LAN or Radix, unless Infamy do manage to at least scrape 3 points off of this, which gives them a slight chance, but not a big one. But if Infamy lose this next map, it's not looking good for them getting the LAN.
We're going to be moving through to our next map, which is going to be Clubhouse, I believe. That was the map that was selected the first time that we're going to see Clubhouse today. Seeing a couple of these great replays. Hampton Drake, I think, played really well for Infamy. It didn't play well enough, to be honest. I think it all came down to Xenos just playing better as a unit, and actually I think the formulation of their operators worked really well. They picked some operators when they really needed to. And they're going to take this this first game and the first map away from Infamy, and Infamy now need to come back on Clubhouse. I believe Clubhouse wasn't their pick. It was Xenos' pick. So actually Xenos think that they are better on Clubhouse, or they think they're going to have that advantage over Clubhouse, which is great for them because they have beaten Infamy at their own map pick, which is obviously always a good start to go into. Yeah,
I think that Clubhouse will... more than likely, it will favour each of them because Clubhouse has been a map that's been out since release. Same with Chalet, so most teams can play them. It's just seeing what different strategies each of them will come up with. And it seems to be that both of them try to counter each other very well, as we've seen Kenders pick the IQ, knowing that Nave plays Vigil a lot. So I think counter picks will be the big factor in who will be winning these rounds, especially on the attack.
I actually think... I was literally about to mention this because obviously, Clubhouse attack is a little bit more straightforward than some of the other maps because there are, like we said before, there are really only 2 bomb sites that you like to defend.
Yeah.
I think Xenos looked more comfortable on attack. I think Kinders looked great. He always seemed to take out the enemy roamer really easily. They seemed to deal with that Vigil really nicely, the IQ working out really well. I think Xenos looked comfortable on the attack here, and on a map where attacking is a little bit easier to make work, because you know exactly what you're doing. You pretty much know where you're scouting, which portions of the house that you're scouting each time.
Oh yeah.
I think this is going to be really, really good for Xenos. We are just waiting to get the players back into lobby to set this thing up for the next map. It will be our final map of the night, by the way, as we did have that forfeit earlier between Vexed and Fable. Fable forfeiting out, and Vexed didn't even get a chance to play, but will rocket themselves into a great position for the LAN. Obviously, next week we'll really be seeing the teams that we think are going to end up qualifying for the LAN, or whenever we have the next.
I think that has at least put them up for runners-up, at least. 15 points out of 18. Rest of your team, I think the rest of your group's on 9 points, maybe 12. Still puts you at a really big gap. Also talking about Clubhouse. we're not going to see any roam game, I would imagine, because Clubhouse isn't a map where you see roamers. We're not expecting roamers. It's going to be a lot of anchors on site. So I think that whoever has the better anchors this time will win, not necessarily the roamer such as Vigil.
So speaking of the group standings, let's take a look at them right now. So I think we've got them updated for the games that we have seen so far. You can see Vex sitting there 5-1, 15 points, way out in the lead in Group A. And actually, Group A is now evened up with 1UP getting that 2-0 earlier on, 6-6-6. It's going to be a devilish set of games coming up in the next few weeks as we try to see the next team. I really do think that Vex have pretty much secured their position in that group, however. And Enix, 12 points, but they are very close now to Radix and Xenos. And enfamy, if they don't pick up a map here, is going to be almost the reverse issue, I feel, for enfamy in Group B, where they've almost secured themselves last place in some way, shape or form. So that's how the groups are shaping up right now. Pressure on enfamy to perform on Clubhouse going up against Xenos. If Xenos get this, they will tie themselves up with Enix, meaning that the top of Group B is all to play for, whereas it's more of the middle and bottom of Group A that is all to play for right now.
Yeah, Vexed, even though they did get the forfeit victory, I still think they had a good chance against Fable because they have been, I would say, the best gun skill team we've seen so far inside any of the teams. Maybe Madman would be the only one competing against some of them guys with the gun skill. Maybe Kinders as well. He is a great shot. But for the most part, Vexed is primarily a team of Slayers where their gun skill really just bounce off each other a lot, and they also trade out. They're not the most strat-heavy team. They rely more on the run-and-gun kind of play style where they say, okay, guys, this is how they're set up, how we're going to play it. Let's push that and see what happens. You know, it's more of a counter-strat team.
I feel like, from what I've always seen today, is there's been shots where if you are better in sort of the slaying area of the game, that you could get major advantages. So if Vex were taking some of these opportunities where the small peaks had come through, where there was opportunities, there was clear opportunities for teams today to pick people off where they just weren't quick enough, weren't accurate enough. If Vex feels like if they can take those opportunities, put themselves in good standing. While we're waiting, by the way, guys, if you are interested in signing up and getting involved in Rainbow Six yourself, you can go over to esl.pm/go4r6uk, sign your team up, get involved in the Go 4 Cups, something that ESL run for pretty much every game under the sun, but they're also running it for Rainbow Six now as well, and that starts on Tuesday the 6th of February, which is that Shrove Tuesday? Does it start on Pancake Day? Yeah. You can have pancakes and the start of Go 4 Rainbow Six. What more could you want? Absolutely fantastic. So go and get yourself signed up there, esl.pm/go4r6uk. We are just waiting to get players into lobby for this next game, so sorry about the delay. Just waiting to make sure everything's set and stable. But we're very, very shortly getting towards game. I hear from production, so we won't be too far out.
Yeah, should be underway. Technical issues, they happen a lot.
They do.
Happens in my stream a lot as well, as I'm sure some of my viewers. It happens. Just one little bug can just throw everything in the fritz. Yeah,
and I've been in fair share of esports productions, and yes, technical issues in esports can be a major drawback, but luckily we have a fantastic team here at the ESL UK studios, and they have managed to get things back underway, and we are heading into Clubhouse. These are the operators picked up. Anything that Zofia, is that striking you as odd?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Yep, I saw Zofia, and due to even my limited knowledge, I was like, yeah, I've not seen that much.
Sophia is an operator which we don't see a whole lot of. She was at it, of course, in the recent DLC. She has, I believe, the ability to either breach holes or also use them as concussion mines. It's the same concussion mines that Ela uses, so it gives you that like echoey effect. But of course, with Ela being nerfed to the concussion grenades going from 7 seconds down to 4, she also got hit. As her gadget is the same thing that Ela's does, as they're both sisters, so they kind of, Ubisoft made it so they're the same gadget. Her stun grenades now go down to 4 seconds as well, so she got nerfed and she hasn't even seen a lot of play yet.
Interesting. We'll have to see how Xenos makes Zofia work. Maybe a pick to sort of throw enfamy off, potentially. You know, it's a pick that you just don't see that often. And maybe enfamy not quite sure how to deal with it properly. Looks like it is going to be a classic basement placement here for, I love that word, basement placement, for enfamy on defense.
I would imagine that talking about Zofia is she could possibly use the good effect when pushing the blue tunnel. Blue tunnel is a really hard area for attackers to get rid of that main anchor, as he's going to be hidden from the hatch by this big, massive metal ventilation unit. And the only way you can get rid of him is either with nades or just really good gun skill equipped with flashes. Being able to chuck down a lot of Sophia mines, it just completely echoes you out of there. You're not even going to have a clue what's happening. And also coupled with some flash grenades and grenades, it just makes for a really deadly combo.
He's scouting out potential move here. A lot of the times you see Kitchen drop into the basement. I wonder what Xenos are planning here. What do you think Xenos are sort of thinking about moving into Infamy's hold?
Primarily, I would imagine, get hatches off and then open up that kitchen, get rid of any anchors inside the kitchen area, particularly that Pulse, who is going to be a main star operator pick on Clubhouse, because he's so good at giving intel from that armory. He can give intel into the kitchen, of course. Also, we could see part of Dirt Tunnel in towards this stairs hallway, and also the bar. You can see some parts, and also Memorial drop. If somebody drops inside the Memorial, you will be able to pick it up on your cardiac scanner, and it's so good for giving intel for your team.
See Thatcher drawing down. EMP's going through, trying to disable what he can. Slow pace. The Clubhouse for me is one of the slower maps.
Yeah,
I feel. Especially in basement, it will be about that last 30 seconds. They are setting up now, Xenos.
Mostly because it's such a big map, so it takes a lot of time to drone out. A lot of times to do a lot of destructibility, because you think about it, kitchen is massive for destructibility, and also the corridor. And then church, trying to push that triple wall, it's really hard to push if there's mirror windows there, which there are, as we do see the first blood. That's Kender's getting a kill on the pulse like we were talking about, but we are going to see Floki get caught out as Switch does shoot up at him from below. I believe that was holes made by his own Buck player, which did come back to bite him.
37 seconds now. They're looks like they are looking for a kitchen entry here. And Xenos playing it very slowly. Loads of destruction going on in kitchen on the floor right now. Buck looking for opportunities. Zafia, I think it's the mine. Is that the Zafia?
Yeah, Sophia mines, yeah.
Yeah, they're going down.
So they still do have Drake inside that dirt tunnel, so he is going to be that main man just to peek out and kill anybody, but some aggressive plays from Willis does manage to tag up, but all of his teammates are going to die from Drake and Fums, as Prem does get the last kill, and Infamy are going to take the first round.
Yeah, didn't really see Zafia coming to her own there. The rest of the lineup got obliterated before you could really see anything made work of, and now Infamy are going to get their first pick on the board. It is hard to assault basement in Clubhouse. It can be difficult. You have limited options about how you enter. Kitchen is one of the better ways to do it, and unfortunately they didn't find the right opportunities there. Let's see where Xenos go with their defense. It looks like Smoke, Valkyrie, Jaeger, Bandit, and Ela. Mira, I like Smoke on. I don't know. I always feel like when people exclude Smoke, it's a little bit risky because Smoke is so easy to control, especially when you've got limited entry areas. Especially because you can control below kitchen really easily with Smoke. But I don't know. We'll see how it works with Xenos. They are way better players than I am. And Demo could probably flame them, but I can't.
Well, primarily, talking about the Smoke, is that there's not a lot of reinforced walls that teams want to push in from. Looking at Shalai, where that wine cellar wall and also the little wine stock wall, it gets blown open quite a bit, and that's where Smoke excels, being able to shut down any hard breaches that they want to push in from.
Sure.
Looking at single doors, they're really easy to hold by anybody because there's only one way that they can come through. Not a lot of hard reinforcements that Thermite can go other than the triple wall, which typically we see mirrors being placed there, so Thermite can't do that. So that would be the reason why they're not picking Smoke, I would imagine, because those killing people dropping down hatches is one of the easiest kills you'll get.
Sure, absolutely. To see if Xenos can get any roaming off here with Ela, try and pick off a couple of members of Infamy. There's another Capital.
Yeah.
This is interesting because this is something that Hampton Drake seems to be defaulting back to. Didn't have much success for him previously, but he seems like it's a pick that he wants to try and make work. It doesn't feel like it's a super popular pick that can get work done all the time, but, you know, Hampton Drake's good. Maybe he can make something work with it.
I think he's picking this Capo to deliberately counter-pick the Mira, because that Mira window is going to be on that triple wall, and if he manages to land a Capo bolt in the precise place that Mira's going to be standing, that's going to be her off the board. Even if it doesn't kill her, it's going to allow them to push in without her standing there, because she's not going to just run through a cap bar and try and kill you, because then she's going to die straight up. But that is going to be the main way to get rid of the mirrors. I think the Infamy are going to try and approach.
I have to see, because we didn't get to the point where Infamy could actually make that work, because they were all picked off before Capo even got down to where Mirror was placed. So it's a lot slower on Clubhouse, especially assaulting basement. Maybe this favours Capo, finds the right opportunity to push in and get pressure onto that Mirror wall, and that'll allow him to set up perfectly for that bolt.
And also Drake's has been having a good bit of slaying potential with the power as well, as it did get bust, so he must be liking it, so that's why I would imagine he's bringing it. It is a great gun. I remember whenever it did get first released, it was a game-breaking gun like the way Ayla's was. It hit so hard, I believe it was 52 damage on release, something stupid like that. And he also had nades as well, which, let's not even talk about Capo and nades. That was a hard time in Season 3, to say the least.
Just wait again, slow. This is kind of what Clubhouse amounts to. It's kind of finding a pick where you can, but especially assaulting basement, it's all about that final assault. You try and make some entry frags happen and then just rush into the site. And again, where do you think Infamy are going for another kitchen assault here?
I would imagine just get off hatches, clear open the kitchen, which is what most teams do. I believe Wangob's going to try and get rid of them Habana pellets by cooking a C4, chucks it up, and it lands right in the hatch, and he blows it, get rid of the Habana pellets, and then kitchen is just a stronghold for the defenders from that stage. But 40 seconds on the clock, and they haven't even touched the kitchen. It seems to be that they want to push in from this armory side, as we do see the Ash launcher going in, and I believe it's going to be a quick push from Smitch, but Elamine is going to catch him, and then a C4 is going to meet him to go as well. And Whitegum has a shotgun in this position, so he can play aggressive on this corridor and shoot down anybody at the bottom of the main stairs. Yeah,
he's waiting, and it looks like Infamy are starting to peek in. They haven't got much time to work with it. 16 seconds, they've barely made a breach happen. This doesn't feel like it's going to be a success unless they start to rush in, and the angles are already held. Prem gets one, Prem gets two. He's going to get another one. That's a really good entry. Now they have to get that diffuser down, but can the defense happen? Get it down, get it down. They get it down on the final second, and just one member left available for Xenos. 2 versus 1, low HP values. Something's happened. I have no idea what's happened, but the game seems to have crashed.
It happens. It happens to me a lot.
Oh, what a cliffhanger. What a cliffhanger. It could have gone either way at that point, because it was so low HP on the side of Infamy, but it was 2 versus 1. They were planting the diffuser. Wow, what a way to break in at the last 17 seconds. It really didn't feel like they had enough time, did they?
I think that the Yings, the Candelas came into big effect leading into that the last 30 seconds, as they were able just to blind everybody inside that church, and also the Mira located in blue. I believe they had one. But from them, I'm surprised Xenos didn't clutch up that round from there. They managed to take out that main Slayer. They also, Ash opened up a hole for Wangom on the shotgun just to push around and play really aggressive with it. He didn't choose to do that, but nonetheless, I don't know who won that, but I imagine it's Infamy. I would imagine it's Infamy.
If I were a betting man and I would be doing the community vote, I would be wagering Infamy just off the back of the position that they were in, but we have seen some pretty good clutches. Like, I think at that point, I think Prem was 1 shot from dead, so, you know, 1 bullet anywhere on his body would get the kill, I think, at that point. So it could have gone either way, but the diffuser was down. They had position on Xenos. They knew where the final member was available and then left alive, so they knew where they had to sort of cover. It looked like there was a duel going on at the very end there, I think, between Habana and the remaining member of Xenos.
I think that the way that Habana had bomb advantage, he just brought out her other gun, Bandit had the reload, Drake had just finished planting. I'm going to say Infamy.
Yeah. It's not worth wagering on right now, because we will find out in a few minutes once we get things reset up. Sorry about that. Again, like we were literally just talking about tech issues. We seem to have cursed the stream. It does indeed happen. But if Infamy do win this, that would put them, I believe, 2-0. So they will be on a good start to this next map. They really, really need this map.
They need this 3 points.
They need it. Without it, their hopes of getting LAN, the hopes of turning things around over the next few weeks feel pretty dire. And they want to put themselves back up in the mix of the standings, because the closest to them is 9 points. They're on 3. If Xenos win this, they go up to 12, and suddenly it's a 6-point gap between them and the closest member, and a 9-point gap between getting runner-up and getting into that double elim bracket. So, yeah.
And then especially with only 3 weeks to go, that's only a potential of 18 points.
Yeah. You have to win every round 2-0, and you have to maybe
you have to win every game, and that's a tough task. Nobody's done that yet.
Yeah.
Even Vex dropped the map.
Exactly. So, you don't often get the opportunity to run 6-game streak over the course of 3 weeks. It will be tough for Infamy if they don't win this one out. We will be moving towards, in the later stages, the LAN, though. So, out of the teams that you've seen over the course of the last few weeks, if you had to put bets on the teams that are going to make it, which teams do you think make it? I think Vexed is an easy one, so I'll do one for you. Yeah,
you would imagine Vexed. I'm going to have to go with Enix as well, just because how strong they've been playing over the past couple of weeks. And let's not forget that the next game for Enix after this will be Infamy, who are bottom of the group, so Enix will have that 1-up over them. Also looking at the other group, I believe it's going to be 1-up versus Vexed. So 1-up, they need to do something. They need at least, I would say, if 1-up get 3 points out of that game, they'll be happy with that.
Yeah, I think 1-up looked fantastic in the course of the last game. They could maybe, I think mechanically they looked like they were taking their shots well. And against a team like Vexed, who we've sort of talked about being a shot-based team, maybe 1-up can match up against them, but Vexed definitely looked pretty unstoppable in Group A. So you're saying maybe Vexed 1-up, maybe Enix, sorry, and then the final member from Group B?
Maybe Radix, because Radix have really impressed me this season, which I wasn't expecting that whatsoever. Of course, Xenos have that LAN experience, so if they do go to LAN, then it would favour them, because I believe everybody from their team was at LAN. I believe Kinders was actually on the 1-up roster, and I believe FUMS was on the 1-up roster as well. EGX is very weird, the teams. A lot of people came in for as subs and stuff like that there. The only team I believe that had their full 5 was Enix.
Right, okay, so Enix still looking pretty good in Group B right now. We will be trying to jump straight back into the action here if we can. That's the last word that I've heard from production. So as soon as we get any heads up, we will feed that to you. We're just waiting for players to load back in as well. Looks like it was a sort of a global thing that happened right there, unfortunately. It
happens. I think it's just Siege in general. Sometimes you get the odd glitch where it just completely crashes your game. It used to be really bad.
I hope the players actually finished that round. I don't know if the players all crashed out of that.
I think it was your stuffs.
Oh, thank
it
goodness.
happens to me sometimes as well. So.
Thank goodness, because otherwise I'd have been very upset, because that was a very clutch ending to the game. Do we know who actually won that round, by the way? Oh, we'll be continuing. Oh, there was everybody crashed out of that. Everybody.
Oh, the whole server crashed.
The server crashed, so everybody crashed out of that game. Unfortunately, even though it looked like Infamy were going to win, we can't give them the point until they've actually closed out the round. Technical issues do happen, so we are going to restart with Infamy. I believe
1-0.
1-0, attacking again. I think is going to be what happens. They're going to be attacking again. Infamy will be 1-0, which we're going to replay. You get an extra round of Rainbow Six, guys. You can't be sad about it, but Infamy probably are, because they felt that they were probably in a good position. But look,
happens.
It happens. Esports happens, and that's kind of what happens in the deal. But we'll wait for the players to get loaded back in, and we'll jump back into this as quickly as possible. So, out from what we've seen today, who has been the standout player across every game that you've seen? Who has impressed you the most, and why? Why have they done so?
I'm going to say Melons.
Damn, you stole my boy.
I'm going to say Melons because maybe Melons and Pranksy. I say you go Melons, I'll go Pranksy.
Okay, I'll go Melons. I think Melons, for a guy that's a support player, clutching some of those static defense positions, he single-handedly saved one of the rounds. I think he looked really, really good. And I'm only saying it because, you mentioned to me that he's not known as a fragger. He's not known as a guy. He's not a roamer. He's a static defenser. Yeah. He's a support player in general. To come away as top frags across that game, it's impressive for him. And I've got to say, I've been very impressed with him today.
I would say equally with Seymour Pranks, they play the same operators, Fermi and Mira. And they both did work specifically on that coastline. Leading in the border, we've seen Fabian Madman do a lot better, because that would favour more aggressive attackers, because border is typically just 2 bomb sites, whereas coastline, the anchors really came into effect because every bomb site was chosen. Mira was always going to be picked.
So we're going to start again with Capitao on Smitch this time round. Ash actually taking Hampton Drake, so they're switching over Capitao to Smitch, and it is going to be Infamy. Right now, you can see 1-0 up. We had to reset, which means they aren't going to get that point that they potentially would have got. Again, the clutch could have been there. Could have had the clutch. You always have to remember that.
We will never find out.
But we will never find out.
So, downstairs we go. Let's see if Infamy can recreate what happened last time. As we have the suspect that they should have won that round from that stage. Like you were talking about with the operator mix-up, where it's actually Smitch taking Catbone and Drake on Ash, where previously we've seen it the other way around. That may be due to Drake not feeling Capo, or possibly Smitch not feeling Ash, so they want to go for the trade, which both of them are their main slayers for Infamy, so choosing between the free speed, it shouldn't really make a difference to either of them, because they still have really good guns and they can both move with speed.
So Infamy have to recreate exactly what they did in the previous round. It will feel pretty bad if they don't win this, given the position that they are in. So that might be a mind game that we have to discuss, because if Infamy lose here, they should have felt that was their round. Unfortunately, the glitch does happen. What do you feel in terms of if you were in that position, if you were almost certain to win a round and you end up losing it the next round when you have to replay it? How would you feel like going into the rest of this sort of game?
I would feel pretty gutted, because you done it the first time, why can't you do it again? That's what I'd be saying to my guys. You know, we just done it once. Why did we lose it this time? Possibly because then the defensive team know the push you're going to go for, then they can start counter-stratting that. But if I was going in with a mindset, I would change up my attack completely. I would bring completely different operators, go for a construction dirt push, bring Blackbeard, and then try and push Kitchen, as last time we seen them push in towards that church area, which is another thing which leads into that mind games, because Xenos might be gearing up ready, okay? They push church, they're going to do it again, and all of a sudden you pull out a Kitchen push.
Smitch now moving through Capital. Again, this is kind of what happens on Clubhouse. From all the Clubhouse that I've seen, generally tends to be that slow burner until about 30 seconds to go, and then it's all guns blazing, jumping in, that last 30 seconds looking for the opportunity to push onto the sites, especially when it's basement. Sometimes when you are defending sort of stockroom or whatever.
Yeah, stockroom bar.
Yeah, stockroom bar, then it's going to be slightly less that way, but basement specifically, when you're trying to defend church and just above just below kitchen, that can be a little bit slower paced.
Yeah, that's the thing about Clubhouse, is that, whoa, already a C4. That's going to be Floki getting the kill on the Prem, and just talking about the slow pace, typically you want to get hatches open and then just start ripping up the floor, but that's going to be Buck out of the picture already.
And you can see they're trying to get Kitchen sort of destroyed there, but without Buck, it's going to be so difficult to open up those angles in Kitchen. Buck is such an influential pick and an operator to not lose early, and now that he's down, Infamy probably in a tough position, because this has been a static and solid defense coming up from Xeno.
This is where I would imagine then Infamy are going to scrap going for this Kitchen push, because they can't push this shotgun player. I say that.
Oh, wait a second.
I think Wangum maybe got a wee bit too aggressive with the shotgun.
Yeah,
he shouldn't be fighting at that range. He should at least wait until they are closer than that and just wait for them to drop down the hatch, because he was safe and sound at the back.
Exactly. You mentioned that it's easy to kill a player dropping down a hatch, especially with a shotgun. And that was a very aggressive move from Valkyrie. That's opened up what was really a sure defense from Xenos now. And now they have to ask questions, and it looks like just trying to put a lot of pressure here. Ying going through.
Just going to miss that one. So he is going to go for the drop. Elamine is going to catch him, and then it is going to be Kinders peeking out from that construction tunnel, which if you don't thermite that from behind, then it does just give a really good anchor position for any members of the defense. But we are going to see the Kappa bolt go in, but Kinder's going to swerve. He picks up one. Is he going to pick up two? No, as Floki does finish off Smitch, and Xenos take the defensive round.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, it does.
It feels really bad, man, and they'll be kicking themselves, because it almost was their round to boot. But that is going to be Xenos tying up, and Xenos, I mean, they did really well to mentally reset after sort of losing that defense previously. And Infamy now can't get tilted. I mean, tilt is a real thing. It happens in pretty much every single game, but you cannot get tilted as Infamy. You have to be able to sort of step back up and say, okay, let's reset, minds steady. Can't give this map over to Xenos for free.
Especially such as Infamy, where I know they're a team that hate losing easy rounds. They hate choking. They just think it's stupid how they lost it. They just want to keep it strong and keep it tight. And for the most part, all their rounds are played really well. I would never say that they ever get any scrappy rounds. All their rounds are played very professionally, and they always do a fantastic job at attacking or defending.
Infamy now on the defense, and it's up to Xenos, and they're going with the Zephyr again. I didn't see the sort of the point of the Zephyr, but maybe because we have a bar and stock room, maybe it'll be a little bit difficult, a little bit different this time round. But Zofia didn't seem to get much out of that previous game. Maybe it's because everyone died before Zofia actually started doing anything. But we'll have to see. Xenos, they seem pretty confident to pick it again. It's not just a cheese pick, which we thought was maybe the case, but they seem confident to go for it again.
You are going to see the IQ picked up by Kenders once again. That's going to be the counter to the Vigil that I imagine they are going to be expecting. And also equally Pulse, because sometimes Pulse is very powerful inside Strip Club, because he's able to pulse all the different walls around that square. He can tell your teammates if they're going to be outside on that reinforced wall or pushing in for the single, or even I believe that's for the gem locker corridor as well. Echo Drone is going to be countered quite easily by Kenders, but then Fums, that's going to be a peek from the garage. A really long angle from him does finish off IQ before she can take down enfamy's Vigil.
Yeah, so now Vigil has basically got free roam at this point in time, because IQ going down, that is really good for enfamy. Makes their defense much easier. It means that Xenos have to kind of think twice about where they want to make the attack. You can see here, actually, did get scouted out. Winegum gets the pick. He was kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place at that point. And now Winegum evening up, doing IQ's job for him. And IQ did also get the Echo Drone.
Yeah,
so
it's a big play.
It's a pretty decent play. And now enfamy stuck on the defense. Have to be super pushed back, that they have to sort of really, really retreat in. And Zofia now coming through.
So this is where I'm curious to see how Zofia is going to be played. I don't know any good places that they could possibly use these alien mines. Maybe firing them at the back near that B bomb site to get rid of any anchor playing around that B area, which we do see. I believe it's going to be the smoke. But for the most part, not too many locations that she can be used to great effect. But maybe it's just for the gun pick. It's just my personal preference of Whiskers.
Hampton Drake picks up Winegum here. Winegum a little bit overextended, caught off, and Hampton Drake still making that roam around with Jaeger, looking...
Oh, it's giving an angle.
Trying to just get an angle onto anybody moving into this bomb site. He's going to pick off... Ooh, I think he just basically crept through his sights there. It's 3 versus 4 at this situation. Zofia still left alive. Oh, great shot! Ah, he's been so clutch on these shots. He's been so good at taking them when they come to him, and another great pickup. But Cryptic responds with getting Prem down. Oh, and that's actually another great shot there, and that's going to down Drake. That means that he's going to have to try and crawl to safety. I don't know if enfamy are in a position to actually get him up. This might be very risky for them to go for it.
Both of these defenders are trapped because of that barricade, and they wouldn't even go for the push because that's suicide running across the room. But this stage is going to be a 2v2. Plant needs to go down from TW. They know that Drake is going to be down, so it's going to be a 2v2. Fums is trying to push around with the shotgun. T misses the shots, but also Fums, as we're going to see Whiskers there to clean up the kill, as now it is a 1v1 Smitch versus TW, who will be the victor.
1 versus 1, 7 seconds to go. He's kind of got to go for it now if that's the case. Really has to make the move. 2 seconds, 1 second. Oh, and he went for the plant, and Smitch gets Cryptic. That is a really clutch defense from enfamy. He knew that the timer was against Xenos there. And enfamy pick up at least 1 point here. Now going to be 2-1, I believe, as it stands. So enfamy back in that commanding lead position. That was a good defense from them.
That was a bit of a 50-50, because if TW decided to stop the plant, he had the head glitch advantage over Smitch, who was in the open of bar. If he had stopped the plant at 4 seconds, just stood up, that would have been Smitch dead.
That's kind of the decision that you make as an attacker, right? You come up from the plant hoping to catch the defender catching you, or you go for the plant and make the defender work for it. And unfortunately, it's just one of those 50-50s that you just couldn't take. Smitch at the top with 3. Floki on the other side, mirror him with 3 as well. Let's see how this goes. It's going to be another bar. Is it another bar?
Yeah,
defense here. That's going to be Xenos defending bar and stock room now, so up to enfamy to make those aggressive moves.
So let's talk about the attacking lineup.
Well, this is wild.
Wouldn't say wild.
Moderately wild.
Yeah, moderately wild for you, but not for me, because I've seen this done a couple of times by enfamy and also Enix. They would be the 2 main trendsetters for this particular push, where they essentially go for a really hard stock. Where they basically get rid of anybody inside that B bomb site, going upstairs in the cache and fusing. They also have the Glaz and the Ying for the smoke compatibility, and also Montaño, who has smokes. And essentially, Montagna stands at the door, somebody stands behind him, smokes go in, Glaz is able to pick you off at range, and from there it just falls in enfamy's favour. And also I believe they bring Habana in the garage and just cuts the line through that garage wall and cuts off any rotates coming in from lounge. Very well explained, because I'd have had no bloody clue. It's very interesting to see if they can execute. It sounds like it's a fairly difficult strat to pull off. Maybe relies on a lot of factors coming together more than just the sort of the average operator pickups, but eNFamy maybe feeling that they need to bring out something different to secure themselves this map. Maybe just playing the average stuff doesn't work for them. Fuse sets up there. The thing about where Smoke is located is he's going to be inside the stockroom area, so he's able to stop this push as one gas canister just completely cuts off any Glazes wanting to go in, push in with the smoke, and also Montagna standing there. As we see Westkers get the first kill on the Smith. I believe that's a quick rotate from the master bedroom in through to the cache. Montagna trying to push through here. Smoke does come out, so he can't push through. Glaz trying to get behind Prem on Montagna. 1 minute 40 on the clock. 2 gas canisters, I believe, have been expended, and this is where Montagna has to stand, but he didn't do his job, as that is going to be the Ying taken out before she can even use her Candela devices. Bit of a misplay from Prem, but he is still alive with full health, and Glaz could still possibly pick up a good couple of kills, but the Echo Drone is going to be rotated towards that stockroom as well. And a very good counter strategy from Xenos, bringing all of their tools to stop this stockroom way, the smoke grenades, and then also the Echo Drone. And from this stage, I would imagine Xenos should take it from here, as there's going to be too many angles that Drake has to watch. It's pretty limited, right, for eNFamy now, because you have Montagna, you kind of have to play around Montagna, and if Montagna's trying to push through a singular doorway, then that's kind of where he's going to stay for the majority. Not many other good options, I think, to move through. Where did he get? Did he get wallbanged? No, I think they just got to rotate. Oh, did they? I think they got to rotate behind. You can see Winegum's behind them. The diffuser goes down. Montagna down as well. And that is going to be a Xenos cleanup, going to level things up at 2-2. The thing about that strat is as soon as the team hears the Montagna coming, you automatically know it's going to be a stockroom. You never see Montagna for pull because it's too open. He doesn't do the best of jobs. The only time you never bring Montagna to push that strip side would be the quick plant at that corridor entrance door that you can plant at inside the bar. But for the most part, all you need to do is bring your smoke over and bring your Echo Drone over, and from there, all the utility that eNFamy uses is going to be countered. Yeah, and you know that when a Montagna is pushing through, he's going to have some support behind him, so you could at least imagine that there's going to be one member of eNFamy there pushing through Montagna. So yeah, it was a good way to defend, really nice solid defense, and it all really stemmed from getting a couple of pickups early on, because if you had the rest of that team available when Montagna was pushing, you could flank. You could say, well, okay, you're expending your resources to stop the Montagna push. That's when we push and try and get some pickoffs on the side. But unfortunately, they went down, and now we are 2-2. And eNFamy again are staring down the barrel of Xenos again, starting to overtake here. The thing about going, I want to talk about that last round as well. If you want to go for the Glaz and Ying kit, then you're sacrificing your Buck, as Buck can be really good for opening up the cache room ceiling, and then just completely getting rid of anybody inside that B-bomb site. But bringing the Fuse, Fuse was very isolated by himself, and that's whenever we've seen the quick jump outs and rotates from Xenos, which put a stop to that cache room push. So if you did have Fuse and Buck upstairs, then they could have supported each other, and like I was saying earlier, always work in twos if you're going to go for any roams or any aggressive plays. Mirror wall between church and utility. Just trying to make sure that angle covered here. Nothing crazy coming in from Xenos, though. No surprise. Game Clubhouse is very dictated, it's very specific. You can't have a lot of crazy strats for it, as most of the time they're very easily counterable due to the destructibility, of course, inside kitchen. As you can't, like, teams may say, oh, why don't you put a mirror window inside kitchen, because then that shuts down the memorial drop. All it takes is a Buck to come in and Buck above your head, and that's the mirror window wasted, which I've seen a couple of times from teams. I'm like, why are you doing it? It doesn't work. Xenos not pulling out anything too crazy on their attack. Nice. Hibana lock up there through the wall. Try and open up. See if this way to do it so you don't get C4 from below. Yeah. Nice way. Gonna get some information coming through. Xenos seem very calculated on their attack. It's been not been sort of
taking any roamer battles. Doesn't look like there has been any sort of crazy roaming coming out from Infamy though.
I wouldn't expect any roams in Clubhouse, because if the only places you can roam is bar, and you can't really roam in bar because there's too many angles. There's like 4 doors that enter in towards bar, and you can't watch that if there's a good team pushing you. You can't roam upstairs because you get isolated, because the only way you can get back down is coming down the main stairs, and it takes a climb or one person sitting watching. But you see the opening kill, that's going to be in Thumbs, getting the kill on the Floki with this mirror, which does shut down that main stairs. Another mirror window placement that you could do is you reinforce the right-hand side of the wall and the left-hand side, and put your mirror window, put both mirror windows on either side, and leave the middle soft, because then you have 2 mirror windows open, because then if one does get Twitch droned, which sometimes you see Twitch being bring for Clubhouse for these mirror windows, then you do have another one to fall back on, and then that gives you coverage for the Memorial Drop and main stairs, which I do quite a lot, as I think it works well, and I would say any teams give that a try.
Thermite down now for Xenos, so it's going to be a 4 versus 5 Infamy on pretty stalwart defense. That's going to be potential nade drop for Buck, but I think he saw the move, so didn't end up using it.
From here, they do have control of this kitchen, but 30 seconds on the clock, and they haven't managed to get any kills on these anchors as of yet. We haven't seen any blue pushes as well, which is quite surprising, because that is the more of the out of the free drop hatches. That would be the flank option. I say that, we do see Whiskers drop and get 1 kill on the Prem. Smitch gets a kill on the Tane, and Nave does get the kill on the Whiskers. And from this stage, oh, great shot by Smitch on the wine gum. Last man up is going to be Kinders, who's in the site, gets a kill on the Thumbs, doesn't have the diffuser, and it is going to be Drake swinging round and does pick up the kill. Great defense from Infamy.
Yeah, and like you said, no roaming, patient defense.
Yeah.
They forced Xenos to make the moves, and they caught them at every opportunity. Another early drop for Xenos means they had to be forced into a 4 versus 5, which wasn't great for them, and now it is Infamy 3-2. Need just 2 more rounds to secure themselves a desperate 3 points. They need this 3 points. They need to make sure they shore up. They want to win this attack, and then they can settle into a defense, hopefully, that will work for them. Again, going back to Capital, they really, really like Capital at the moment. Smitch going to be picking that one up.
Yeah, also the Ying, once again being picked up, but she's going to be great for these drop hatches, as she can, of course, cook them and send them further into the site, may it be further in towards the armory area or into the church. Typically, we don't see her use that much in blue, because once you do drop it blue, you are exposed from 2 angles, may it be from the big hole in the wall, beside church, or that single door, which is going to be the main way that they kill you from. Typically we see Ying being used for the kitchen dropper primarily, because she can throw her Candela devices as an angle and get rid of most anchors round about them 2 box areas, which is the main place that smoke players, bandits, Jaegers want to set, of course. But for the most part, I would imagine it's going to be the same Memorial Drop for Infamy.
10 seconds left.
Looks like that'll be the case. Setting that up. That was the way they kind of moved in last time. They did actually end up getting very close to taking the victory on attack before we had that unfortunate crash.
Nothing as of yet, and a bit of a curious reinforcement with the mirror placement, as the whole triple wall of church is going to be reinforced, and a mirror window just smack bang in the middle of it, so they don't have a soft wall to play about with, which we typically see on the church walls. Then they can peek aggressively on the main stairs or the Memorial Drop, depending which side you place. And then, of course, I talked about you can put 2 mirror windows there and cover both sides. So I don't really know where they're going with that mirror window.
It's interesting. Have to ask them after the game. Maybe they'll give us some insight.
Yeah, maybe it's just because they don't want to expose themselves with a soft wall, and then let them just let them see what's happening on the main stairs, which is another option they could do. 2 minutes to go. Hatches are starting to get opened up, and sure Buck will be brought in very shortly.
Start opening up kitchen, trying to get some angles down. They need to start. I think a lot of teams have been kind of so patient on this, really patient, and it gets to the last 30 seconds, which is pretty common for Clubhouse, especially on a basement attack, but it just means that you have to make rush decisions without people having set up for it properly. A lot of these teams just aren't setting up kitchen properly. They aren't. If they're executing a Memorial, they're leaving it really late. C4 goes up for Valkyrie, but won't pick off anything. Actually just really helps create some angles there.
Still, it was very close. Like, I think if he just had like a millimetre to the left, then he would have been able to get rid of them Habana pellets. But this time is going to get opened up. As I believe, I think it was opened up previously. I believe it was Buck. He got picked off really early on by the Pulse, being picked up by Xenos. Again, IQ could have been a very good pick, especially whenever they are dealing with Valkyrie cameras and possibly Pulses, which could have been picked up. Also looking at the way that Xenos are set up at this stage, you have one man inside B and another one inside the construction tunnel, which has been such a good anchor point for, I believe, Drake and also Kinders respectively. As we are going to see, I believe, a late roam coming out from Xenos, as Floki did use his C4 to get rid of the Claymore on the flank. We do see Prem open up the kill onto Winegum. 50 seconds on the clock, a roamer. Let's see if he can do any damage.
Yeah, Prem. And down, that's going to be Whisker getting one there, but he does get returned. This should be a pickup with Buck getting back up now, so this is great for enfamy.
Great attack from enfamy. Yeah,
great attack from enfamy. They're now 5 versus 3 at this point in time. Flash comes through. Kinders very low at this point in time. I don't know what Kinders can do from this point with such low HP. It looks like it's going to be a kitchen drop with 30 seconds to go, but Kinders has got an angle on those drops.
I can see why they brought the Kapitao. They brought the Kapitao to keep this guy inside dirt, so he couldn't rotate out. They just fired the crossbow bolt from the kitchen dropper onto that dirt. As we see Thumbs get the kill on the Floki. The Fuser has went down, and like we were talking about Capo, the Capo bolt does get the kill on the Kinders, and Drake finishes off the round and gets the kill on the TW.
This is great for enfamy. This win means they get onto match point. They just need to defend one more time, and they'll find themselves a much needed 3 points in the ESL Rainbow Six Premiership. Having a look at the score, Whisker and Floki doing great right now, as is Drake and Smitch. Actually, Drake again having another stellar performance on a map. Stepped up when he needed to over the last 2 rounds, you feel. Yeah. And the Capitale worked out really well for them, like you said. I mean, it was a bit of a, not quite like super pocket pick, but it is something that it was a bit out there. And it seemed to, they seem to have a strategy for it specifically. I think to deal with Kinders, who'd been running riot.
Because he did that to them the first round. Yeah. And then we seen them bring Capitao for that particular reason. So very smart of them, and it worked.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kinders was kind of the pain point in the previous map. Like, Kinders has been the pain point for enfamy, and they kind of want to shut him down. Kinders has been a great roamer. We saw him do some serious plays. It is going to be a stockroom and bar defense here for enfamy. Arguably a little bit harder to defend than basement, but...
again, looking at the way Xenos have set up, I would imagine strip club push. It's the same operators they chose last time, rocking with the IQ and Sophia once again. Sophia didn't do anything once again, so she does live up to her name of an operator who hasn't done much as of yet. Maybe we'll see some more strategies coming out from the Invitational, which is coming up soon, where we'll see the Pro League players have a bit of a twist in her to see what strategy they've come up with. But for the most part, she's not doing anything in the Premiership compared to Vigil.
Let's see. Everybody from Xenos looking for a push through. Maybe it will be a strip club push.
Seems to be a strip club push.
Yeah, seems to be a strip club push. Actually, I wonder if Smitch is in position here. Needs to make sure he doesn't get caught out. If it was quick, he might have got caught with his pants down, which is something that can sometimes happen in strip clubs. Yeah,
especially for aggressive players such as Kinders and also looking like Madman, stuff like that there. They're very aggressive, can catch you by surprise whenever they can see the opportunity. They're risk takers, they want to go for it. We do see above of where Smitch wants to go for, he wants to go for, oh, was that a Sophia mine being chucked in through there? I think that was a Sophia mine that they threw over the top of that destructible area, and then that's able to then confuse the bandit. So a good play with that Vigil, or not the Vigil, good play with the Sophia.
Here we go. So that's going to be one member from Xenos down the Thermite, but they do get a return. Winegun picks up Smitch. So Smitch has gone down on Bandit. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but another. Oh, Sophia's down already. Sophia's going to get nothing done this time as Cryptic doing his best to try and ward off. But this has been a solid stalwart defense from enfamy. And that's also going to be Vigil. Remember, there's no IQ. Oh, there is an IQ to spy out Vigil. So Vigil not gone down just yet, but he has taken some damage. You can only imagine that's because IQ has been spying him out.
But at this stage, not a lot of drones are going about for Xenos, as we do see IQ get taken out by Prem, and then Nave gets killed in the TW. All hopes lie on Winegum, but that's not going to be the case. And enfamy do get 3 points and does kind of keep their LAN hopes alive.
Yeah, they needed those 3 points on the table, and enfamy with a very solid